Yeah, thanks again, Chris, for taking this time to interview and to give our viewers an idea of what they can look forward to from your workshop at the Denver Postmodern Gathering.
Sure.
April 27th, right around the corner. And I think this is a great way for prospective ticket buyers and all current ticket holders to get a good idea of what it is that they can look forward to should they choose to attend your workshop. So if you could start us off, just giving us a quick intro and an idea of where you are in the work right now, and then what it is that you're going to be bringing to the gathering.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Hoff. I do several things. I'm full-time faculty at California State University, San Bernardino, in the counseling and guidance program. And those that are familiar with narrative therapy probably know John Winslade or Wayne Hedke, and also a colleague of mine, Justine D'Erico-Patrick, are all faculty in that program. So I feel very fortunate that I get to teach in that program and be mentored in that program. And I also direct a community counseling center in Costa Mesa, California, called California Family Institute, which provides low-cost, sliding scale, even no-cost counseling services to the community, which oftentimes are hard to come by. I don't know, in our state for sure. So I have a small private practice, and I do organizational consulting. So that's kind of my thing. And you want me to go right into the work, or like what I might be doing, or?
Yeah. Again, this is just kind of a sneak peek. So if you have a few bullet points that kind of speak to the energy of your work and sort of the reparation. I think the title of your work is called "Taking the Lead," right?
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. Some of the things you're teaching.
I'm going to show, this is a piece of work that is kind of built around a piece of video that I have working with a client. It's my presentation is going to be called Taking the Lead, and it's basically around rupture and repair in the therapeutic relationship. And oftentimes current strategies around repairing the therapeutic relationship tend to be kind of these, if a client complains to you about something, don't be defensive, or, these kinds of things. And it doesn't really take into account power and how oftentimes people we work with or who seek our help aren't going to say stuff if there's a problem in the relationship. So my thesis is that we need to take the lead.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show how that can be done.
Okay.
And I have a piece of video where I work with a young woman of color who, it's a two-parter. I have a piece where she's telling me about this very important event that happened in her life, and I really stink it up, quite honestly. What's that?
Yeah, right. To the club, right?
So if you're expecting to see really good narrative work, this isn't going to be it. So it's actually me really dropping the ball. But then we go into, I have video of the beginning of the next session where I bring back that moment and acknowledge this experience that I had felt during that session, that I had let her down and that I had dropped the ball. And she confirms as much. So, which leads us into this very rich conversation. So, but I'm going to, that's that. And then I'm going to talk about some ideas around apology versus amend, rupture and repair in therapeutic relationship. Mm-hmm. I'm going to draw on theoretical influences like Molly Andrews, who does work around narrative and apology.
Yeah.
I'm going to access what I call folk wisdom from 12-step. I know 12-step is out of favor in a lot of communities. That's why I'm going to be bringing it back.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to look at some of the folk wisdom around amend making, drawn on from 12-step. I'm going to look at Jack Halberstam's work around the queer art of failure, and some of these different ideas around how we might just, kind of inform this work, how we might be more discerning in our work when it comes to repairing relationships.
Mm-hmm. Man, some powerhouses in there that you're drawing from, right? I mean, this is obviously like really personal work for you, and the fact that it's drawn on some of your own experience, but knowing that you're in a community of spirits who have been there too and found ways. I'm glad that you're I'm glad that you're paying it forward and helping us learn from that.
Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder I wonder too if there's anything sort of in your work right now that's somewhat related. I think you probably have like areas of interest that are pretty widespread, pretty varied.
Yeah.
And
sure.
And obviously this making amends, kind of repairing the therapeutic relationship is a oftentimes really charged experience for clinicians. Are there any other influences, any other experiences, or any other interests you have right now that are also kind of on the periphery of this idea?
Yeah, great question. I think I kind of talked about this last fall when the last Denver POMO Gathering, but I've been very drawn into post-oppositional work with theoretical influences like Anna Louise Keating and Gloria Anzaldúa and Bruno Latour and some of these folks that are kind of looking at ways that, I'm doing a presentation at the Vancouver Narrative Conference, I think the weekend after we do Denver, titled, with Justine D. Rigo-Patrick, titled Beyond Deconstruction. Okay. We're proposing a compositionist narrative therapy, and it's about looking at, how the tools of critique are kind of maybe not serving us so well right now, and how there's a new kind of power that's appearing, what we're calling a secular morality, or even you call it neoliberal morality, that has us, like you and I, policing ourselves and others, kind of based on speech acts rather than deeds, and a lot of our good intentions are being kind of hijacked by this new morality. And it has us, like I said, policing each other rather than pointing our systems of critique maybe at the larger systems, right? Rather than each other. And I think and oftentimes this new morality is drawing people that I would normally, I think, would identify kind of more as post-structuralist or even postmodern, drawing them into more modernist and structural ways of talking about people and problems. And I think we're going to argue that's becoming problematic, and it's actually working against good intentions.
I'm really interested in that, and I know that we've even reached out for Narrative Therapy Group for resources on post-oppositionalism, because your presentation, the last POMO conference, and some of our conversations were really enlivening of that idea, and I think I've had even a couple different experiences collaborating with other clinicians in the area the past couple of days, and I just don't even sometimes know how to speak in modernistic terms anymore, right? And so on some level, what you're talking about is what sort of language are we using, and I wonder if there's some part of this that's okay. Well, we are maybe this postmodern niche in a modernistic society, but how do we make those shifts and changes in conversations with our clients, but also with other practitioners in the area?
Right. Out in the world in general.
Yeah, in the world in general. Right. Oh man, that's good. And I'm glad that you mentioned the Vancouver Narrative Therapy Conference, just so that we're plugging other opportunities for training outside of the Denver POMO Gathering. Are there any other plugs that you'd like to make? Any other fingers you have your pots in it, or pots?
Well, I want to plug the Radical Therapist podcast.
Yes, for sure. That's for sure. That's what has us here.
If you haven't discovered the Radical Therapist podcast, please go check it out. There's a YouTube channel as well too with videos.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find it helpful, and those are always fun to do. They're funner when people actually watch them and listen. That's fun.
Yeah, we watched the one on what was it entitled? Is humanism? Is it?
It's non-judgmental enough?
Non-judgmental approach enough? Yeah, in our last narrative therapy group meeting at Regis University. Yeah, it sparked a whole conversation on humanism and some imagination around the humanistic origins of narrative therapy. But then we kind of moved, as your video presented, like sort of beyond that. Right, and so your YouTube channel, The Radical Therapist, all of it is like definitely serving your community abroad. And for anybody that's watching or listening to this, go subscribe, definitely write a review, please.
Yes, please.
Because it helps get the word out.
And I love hearing that people are like watching them and it is creating generative conversations.
Right.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think many of our conversations have always been like springboards into something else, right? They have these ripple effects. So it's happening. It's happening.
Good.
Cool.